bros, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Today we get diabolical.
It's diabolical.
We're talking budget, cheap, affordable, whatever you want to call it, fragrances that smell expensive. You can use these to trick the people around you. Gonna ask you, what are you wearing? How much does it cost? And you just lie. Or you can be a real bro and hook them up, but where's the fun in that? All of these linked in the description. The first fragrance doesn't even count. It's too powerful. So this one is a bonus, okay? This is a bonus pick. Boneritis, bonus. It's truly unstoppable, okay? This stuff has been rocking and rolling for decades. You can pick it up for under a 20 spot. It's Drakkar Noir. And I don't wanna hear anybody out there groaning. I don't want to see any eyes rolling. Like I said, sub 20 bucks. Drakkar Noir from Guy Laroche, which is suspiciously close to the name Guy Ledouche. If you know, you know.
There I am, Guy here, with a few words on how to catch a lady on the rebound.
And on the back, it says made in France. Do you know what is made in France? Expensive things. That might work on somebody. There's gotta, like 1 out of 100 people at least, that's gotta work on them. Yeah, this fragrance, made in France. No big deal. Woo! It still rules, I don't care.
Now that you have smelled all of our colognes, what'll it be?
I will take some Drakkar Noir.
Drakkar Noir is the quintessential 80s aromatic fougere. It has that barbershop cleanliness. It is extremely masculine. The performance is pretty solid. And look, they want to give it to you cheap. They're looking out for you. That's why it has no collar around the atomizer, because, not because it's cheap, okay? Or it is cheap, but not because Guy Laroche is cheap, just because they knew they could shave an extra, 2 or 3 cents off of each bottle if they just deleted that. And it's a fragrance for the people. And that's why, okay? I don't wanna hear anything about how Drakkar Noir is overplayed or overdone or it's archaic, it doesn't work anymore. I don't wanna hear any of that. La, 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 la. So that's a bonus one. Okay, this is just for funsies. Let's get into the real nitty gritty. And we're gonna kick it off with this right here. It is Nikos Sculpture Parfum. Now this is an amazing fragrance for the price, okay? The performance is there, the quality is there. It smells like something that is way more expensive than it. All of those are good things when you're trying to get a budget scent that smells pricey, because then it makes it so much easier. Somebody asks you, what are you wearing? You're not gonna hit them with Nikos Sculpture Parfum. They don't know what that is. You're trying to confuse them? You're trying to give them brain problems? What's wrong with you? You're gonna tell them that you're wearing a Bond number 9. And if they say, well, what's Bond number 9? You just hit them with one of these. Yeah, it's just a really expensive fragrance house based up in New York City. No big deal. Go ahead and just pull up their website, look at those prices real quick. They don't have to know that Bond number 9 is not usually the most looked up to fragrance house out there. They don't need to know that. Yeah. Keep that to yourself. What's wrong with you? And the fragrance from Bond that it smells similar to Lafayette Street, which is pretty much their most popular release. So, nice. And look, before we start talking who cloned who, Sculpture, the original, came out before Lafayette Street. So, talking about the original Sculpture, not this one. So you're gonna get citrus, orange blossom, tonka, and amber as some of the notes in the fragrance. The only real drawback with this one is that a lot of people have figured out that it's a very good fragrance, people in the fragrance community. And because of that, it sometimes is sold out. And when it's not sold out, the price has gone up. I paid, I think like $22 or something like that for this. Nowadays, it's going for closer to 40. Yeah, still cheap, still affordable, way more affordable than the Bond, but that is a dastardly thing. Some of these fragrance discounters be out there like, oh, wait a second, did that suddenly get a little more popular? Jack the price on it. Out there drinking blood from babies, man. Can't trust them. All right, let's get this one out of the way right here at the front, at the top of the hour. Liquid Brun by French Avenue. This is one of the more hyped, more talked about clone fragrances ever. Smells similar to Parfum Marley's Altair, very popular. Spray, spray, Sniff. Elegant, edible. So what are we talking about note-wise here? Well, cinnamon, praline, and of course vanilla, some of the main notes. Also orange blossom and cardamom as well. Really, really, really good for fall and winter time. Smells obviously much more expensive than it costs because it smells similar to a niche fragrance. So this is one of the easiest of the easy to just, you know, say, oh, I'm wearing this other thing over here. Don't look in this direction, don't look at that door, look at this door. Yeah, oh, I'm a high dollar fellow. Trustworthy, yes. Fall and winter time, holidays, dates, any of that, this stuff, absolutely amazing. One of the best clones, period. And also about $10 less than this one. They kind of flip-flopped. This used to be more expensive than that, but now the next one is an absolute must know. The creme de la creme. But before that fragrance, codes that you also must know. And here they are. Save a little extra money anytime you shop there. And then of course, the usual codes from JOMASHOP that only work within the JOMASHOP app, Gift Express, the Perfume Box, Fragflex, and many more. The next scent comes to us courtesy of Lalique, which honestly, just the whole house. I've said it before, but Lalique for the most part, they get nuked, okay? Their prices get nuked for more, but I would never purchase a new Lalique fragrance at full retail. They depreciate like electric vehicles. And if you know anything about EVs, it is that they depreciate like a rock with another rock tied to it, and then an anvil tied to that rock. It's rough. But if you ever wanted to drive something like a Porsche or an Audi on the cheap, get one of their EVs that's like 4 or 5 years old. It's pretty affordable, comparatively speaking. The fragrance is Lalique White and Black. Neat. And this one was kind of a gimmick release when it came out, a gimmicky bottle. They shipped this with little pencils in the boxes. Basically, it was supposed to be a chalkboard. It doesn't feel like a chalkboard, it just feels like a normal bottle, but it was supposed to be like a chalkboard and you would write on it. Bruh. And I guess somehow that was supposed to help them sell more bottles or something. Somebody out there was like, this is genius. I don't think it really helped or mattered. Fragrance is good though. Woo. So you can pick this big dog up right here for under 40 bucks. Sometimes decently less than that, like low 30s. In terms of notes, it has cardamom, it has vanilla. There's also in here cedar, lavender, olibanum, elemi, and more. It's gonna fit right into that Parfums de Marly Leighton wheelhouse. So kind of in that style, warm, spicy, sexy. In typical Lalique fashion, it doesn't lean as sweet as a lot of the other Leighton alternatives out there. You know, it keeps it a little bit more grown up. It's also not crazy loud as far as the projection goes. It's not weak, it's just normal. But nowadays, I think a lot of people think of normal as weak. So, I mean, take that for what it's worth. Quality though, lights out. Keeping with the PDM train, after this, I swear no more PDM stuff, right? No more? Yes, no more. It is Armaf, the Lions Club Valère. And this is, of course, Parfums de Marly's Sedley. Look at that, it's like a little marble bottle. How fancy. Now I'm gonna bring this up every single time that I talk about a Lions Club fragrance, I apologize, but I kind of like and also hate this. It's a little leather strap, all right? It's just a floppy leather strap here. And then it has a very heavy lion's head magnet rivet at the end, and it's supposed to like get in there, and sometimes it's just kind of a pain. And a lot of times when I've ordered these and they show up, they're scratched up. And it's because this will pop off in transit and it'll just scratch the heck out of the front of this bottle right here where this little plate is. Outside of that, it's fine. Also, sometimes when you spray it, this thing will try to flop over your finger, but whatever, not a huge deal. It does have a unique look, I'll say that. Now this one came out the same time as another one called Majesty, which is a clone of Herod. So that one and this one dropped at the same time, and then they had 3 more that dropped before these 2. So it would appear that any other Armaf Lions Club ones that you see coming out in the future are gonna be based off of PDM fragrances, because all 5 so far are, so I feel like that's a pretty safe bet. Like Sedley, this one is gonna give you a very fresh out of the shower type of vibe. Super easy to wear, green, aromatic, has like this minty kind of pop to it when you first spray it on. Balanced with a touch of sweetness, not too much, not heavy-handed with the sweetness. The performance is solid. And you could say, well, you know, yeah, PDM Sedley, it is an expensive fragrance. I mean, just by the very nature of it being a Parfums de Marly. Some people would say, well, it's not that expensive, but I mean, realistically it is. But anyway, you may say, yeah, but Sedley, even though it is expensive, doesn't smell that expensive. But as far as this type of scent profile, Super easygoing, nice, balanced, and decently smooth, all things considered, outside of like the briskness, that kind of zing that it has, but you want it to have that. And this type of fragrance does get noticed with some regularity, so if somebody comes up and asks you, what are you wearing? Hit them with the PDM. It's so simple. Let's follow that up with the silver bottle. It is John Varvatos XX Artisan. Varvatos is kind of an interesting house. Nobody really is checking for them anymore. They came out with XX Elixir, and I don't think anybody cared at all. It's actually not too bad. It's decently solid. Here's the deal though. That works out to your advantage because you can find Varvatos fragrances almost always really, really heavily discounted. And this is one of those such fragrances that you can get for a big mark off, under 30 bucks a lot of times. Now in terms of the scent, this is not gonna be a sugar bomb, you know, a diabetic coma inducing type of fragrance. It's not really made for younger guys. This is more middle-aged and older. It's classier. It leans forward with vetiver. It also has bitter orange, Sichuan pepper, and even wormwood. And it's gonna remind you a little bit of Tom Ford's gray vetiver. And of course, Tom Ford equals expensive. So this is obviously more of a clean, classy fragrance, you know, a business type of scent, or, you know, a more business casual type of vibe. You can obviously wear it day to day, just like gray vetiver. You know, it's not some crazy, super dry, funky, smoky, grassy type of vetiver. It's clean. It is one of those deals where you can almost tell that Varvatos was doing what they were doing just by the note breakdown and the color scheme. Yeah, so if you wanted gray vetiver on the cheap, get the gray Artisan from Varvatos. Up next is Dunhill. It's this one right here, Arabian Desert. Arabian Desert. And as far as I'm aware, I think like all these Dunhills are resting in peace. Like any of these that you see that you can pick up for 50 bucks, 55 bucks online, yeah, they're all, for the most part, really, really good deals as far as the quality versus the price that you're paying. And you can check the whole lineup. They're not all super warm, heavy fragrances like this one. For example, right here, Amalfi Citrus, totally different vibe. So Arabian Desert, this one is, you know, it's a little bit paint by numbers in the sense of the type of construction the fragrance has. Rose, oud, saffron, which if you've been around for a while, you have smelled that combination a lot of times. It's one of those deals where after you've smelled 5 dozen different saffron, rose, ouds, it hits your nose and immediately you're like, okay, yep, cool. There's also amber in here, there's incense, but at its heart, that's what it is, amber, rose, oud. It's well done. Smells a little bit similar to something like a Gucci Intense Oud, which is this one right here, and this is more expensive than this. So it's one of those deals where if you really like fragrances in that style, this one would work out very well, and it does smell way more expensive than it costs, but I think a lot of your average guys out there probably not wanting to rock with rose oud saffron nowadays. Amalfi Citrus, obviously something completely different. Now this is gonna absolutely blow your gourd, but this has citrus. Orange, bergamot, lemon, yeah, it's all packed in here. Also alongside some neroli, super clean. This is that type of soapy citrus scent, you know, Mandarino di Amalfi, Varvatos Artisan Pure, Neroli Portofino-esque, you know, stuff like that. It smells hyper classy, super easy to wear. Now, it's not gonna bash you with sweetness. So again, this is not going in that direction, but as far as smelling way more expensive than it cost, that's good. Next up, All Embratur Absolu. This is by Zimaya. It's got the name on the back, not the front. Unless that says All Embratur Absolu, which it could. It could say that. Or maybe it just says Absolu, because that says All Embratur. So this is a clone fragrance. It's an inexpensive clone fragrance, and it is a clone of this right here, Invictus Victory Absolu, hence the name Absolu. It all makes sense now. Now you may say to yourself, you know, Invictus Victory Absolu though, that's not crazy expensive. Yeah, that's fair enough. Compared to some of the other ones that we've talked about, like Drakkar Noir, for example, maybe not the most expensive thing out there, but it is quite a new overall designer release. It's got good pop to it, great for fall and winter time. And this is a really nicely done, close clone of Invictus Victory Absolu. No crazy different. It's not got a massive twist or anything like that. Back and forth. Amber, sandalwood, pepper, a little bit of cardamom in there. Also woody notes, a touch creamy, a little bit of a vanilla almost undertone to it. Not quite as pungent with the black pepper and the Zimaya, so that is the one difference, but it's not like a massive difference. If you want Invictus Victory Absolu, you get that if you want it on the cheap. Boys, we gotta hurry. I'm gonna give you a 2-for-1. These fragrances right here are not what you would immediately think of as something that smells expensive that is cheap. It is Boss bottled, Eau de Parfum, and Sublime Leather. I don't practice Santeria. I think that's what they meant. I'm pretty sure. So Ferragamo Sublime Leather, this is a non-super powerful scent, okay? It is firmly average, which for leather fragrances is not that common. Usually they got pretty good pop to them, you know? But the fragrance itself is really nicely done. And in typical Ferragamo fashion, I don't think anybody's really buying it or wearing it outside of, you know, people that know. The note breakdown's pretty nice. Cinnamon, apple, cacao, tonka, of course, leather, vanilla. So it has a nice fizz to it, this nice, like subtle spice that kind of just effervescently pops off your skin when you spray it on. And then a really pleasant warmth that kind of fizzes alongside the leather note that's in there. It's classy, it's sexy, it's just not really super strong. So it smells great. It smells much higher end than you would expect. You just might want to spray a lot more on if you want it to go heavy. And then bottled right here. Nowadays, nobody cares about these, right? Boss bottled Eau de Parfum, the original Boss bottled. Nobody really talks about that. It's all about Absolu and Elixir, which to be fair, those are really good. This still works. You can pick it up for about 40 or so. It's another one where the performance is not beast mode. It is firmly okay. But it has a really nice, almost like apple caramel pie. The way that it opens, it's warm, it's a little bit decadent, it's sexy, it's gourmand leaning. Another one really well done for fall and winter time. Opens up as it dries down, just a really well done, completely overlooked fragrance. And we must finish on this one of the kings of cheap stuff that smells expensive, that also you don't wear super often, at least most people. Encre Noir All Extreme. It is Lalique again, it makes a nice pop sound. Always appreciate that. Ooh, a wooden cap as well, cool. It doubles as a small piece of firewood. Should my power go out, that's great, thank you. Except for the plastic on the inside, it's kind of a problem. So the deal with Encre Noir Sport, Encre Noir All Extreme is they've always been cheap fragrances that smell expensive, and they do. When I smell this, it does not smell like a $25 fragrance. It is rich, it is deeply woody. It has this ambery, resinous warmth to it, this depth to it. It gives it great texture. It is, though, an acquired taste because Encre Noir has this rootiness to it, this like earth to it, this darkness to it, hence the name, hence the bottle coloration and everything else. So a lot of people, when they smell this, they're like, oh, when would I wear that? Never. It also has a bit of a similarity to Chanel Sycamore, which is much more expensive. So finishing off Encre Noir All Extreme, it is one of the goats of cheap fragrances that smell expensive that also a lot of people don't often wear. But I have worn the original Encre Noir to the office multiple times years back, and it always worked out well for me, at least as far as I'm aware. People could have said I smelled like death, but I didn't hear it. Good enough for me. So there we go, guys. I want to thank you for hanging with me here until the end. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Wear your Dracar Noir. I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.